Now tell me, what city would you visit to hear some really good jazz? New York, Chicago, New Orleans? Well, don't count out Nashville. That's right in the middle of the country music capital of the world, you'll find the Nashville Jazz Workshop. As Nancy Hoddinott discovered, it's become a center of world-class talent, education, and all that jazz.
Today, we're just north of downtown Nashville at the revitalized Neuhoff Complex in East Germantown. Here you can discover the Nashville Jazz Workshop, an arts organization that offers a whole new perspective on the world-class talent that you can find in Music City. Nashville Jazz Workshop began under the leadership of upright bassist Roger Spencer and jazz pianist Laurie Meacham. For over a decade, Roger and Laurie have been making an enormous contribution to the performance, education, and preservation of jazz heritage in Tennessee.
The Nashville Jazz Institute started with 2 classes and 11 people. People from Belmont University and other folks that saw the ad in the back of the scene. I had no idea that this school would grow as much as it has. We have classes ranging from vocal classes, ensemble classes, improvisation classes. We have classes for listeners that just are, they love to come to the jazz workshop, but they are not a musician. So it's for everyone. Anybody can come here.
What did you hear?
Students come here because first of all, they want an education. They come here because they're curious. They come here to see live performances. They come to volunteer. They come to donate. They come to listen. They come to just be a part of this family.
Another musician who has been involved here for years is Larry Seaman. After playing guitar in the Jazz Institute's very first class, Larry helped to organize the Nashville Jazz Workshop into the nonprofit organization that it is today. He does everything from grant writing to community outreach.
We've had several outreach programs to engage younger audiences. One was a delightful partnership that we did with the Nashville Public Library, who has a world-famous, world-class puppet troupe. We partnered with them to produce a puppet show called Ellingtown, which is based on the music of Duke Ellington. So we see that as a chance to reach young audiences very early before their tastes have crystallized and show them how amazing and fun jazz can be.
I love to listen to music, don't you?
The other kinds of outreach that we do to young audiences involves high school students, and this is a more recent program. We're starting a summer jazz camp. And what that does is give high school players who've studied a bit of jazz, because most high schools have jazz bands, but they're not able to teach improvisation at the level that students can learn at a place like this. So we're able to give them some extra dimension to their jazz training that they can't get in their own high school.
In addition to classes, educational workshops, and community outreach, Nashville Jazz Workshop offers some incredible live music that you can come to see in a place called the Jazz Cave.
The Jazz Cave is a vital lifeline for me to have the performance possibilities available here. Nashville is Music City, but there are not many venues in which I can play this kind of music.
So try it right there at the bridge. 1, 2, 3.
Do you remember?
We built the place as a school first, and I've always felt that if people are going to learn to play in ensembles, one of the best things you can do is, at the end of the 6-week session, put them on the stage and make them perform for the public. I think that's a real important part of their education. So we built this venue, and when the people who are teaching with us and the pros in town saw this, they said, "Why aren't we playing here?"
Where somebody waits for me.
Through jazz education and live performances like these, Lori, Roger, and Larry have made huge contributions to the cultural arts community in Tennessee.
I believe that we have worked very hard to preserve the history and the foundation of jazz in Nashville.
I think there's a deeper relationship between jazz and Tennessee than a lot of people realize. When you start defining jazz, you're in trouble anyway. When I do my jazz appreciation classes, that's the first thing I do, is I make everybody in class tell me what they think jazz is. And usually what it comes down to is the essence of jazz is some form of improvisation. And I think, the tradition of bluegrass and country in Tennessee, improvisationally, is great cross-pollination. When I grew up in Indiana, in high school, I played for years with a great banjo player named Louis Popejoy, and we had a bluegrass group, and we were the house band at the Bean Blossom Festival for 2 summers in a row. It's mountain jazz. So I think there's the tie-in. Improvisation is universal.
When you want to know something about ballet, you call the ballet. When you want to know something about opera, you probably call up the opera. Well, now when you want to know something about jazz, you call up the Jazz Workshop. And it's just understood in the arts community that jazz is part of that mix. And I think that helps the entire cultural landscape in Tennessee.
So don't be surprised. That is world-class jazz that you hear, emanating from an old meat-packing plant in the shadows of downtown Nashville. It's an unexpected treasure in Music City, the Nashville Jazz Workshop.